Shalom and welcome to Branch of Israel. This is Rabbi Roger coming to you from God's beautiful country, Israel. What do a lump of dough, war, and marriage all have in common? In biblical times, when a woman made a loaf of bread, it was a lot of work. She was not able to go into the kitchen and put the dough into her KitchenAid mixer and let it do the work for her. Instead, she would work with it, rolling it out by hand, and must have spent a good portion of her day doing this, preparing the loaf to raise and eventually be baked. The Hebrew word for bread is lechem, and the root is lacham. Coincidentally, it is the same root that the word war comes from. Yet, what do these two things have in common with each other? You need to fight or war to accomplish the task at hand, whether it be against the enemy or kneading a loaf of dough into shape. As in biblical times, there was nothing easy to help them with the making of the bread, nor was there anything that would help the warrior, like a rifle, for example. You had to fight very hard with your bare hands in either scenario. I think of Abigail in 1 Samuel 25, who gave David 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 butchered sheep, a bushel of roasted grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs. How many people did she have help her to accomplish that task? And how much time did it take to complete all of that? Well, as you can see, nothing back then, or even today with electrical equipment, makes it easy. Well, the same is true with the marriage process. When a couple first get married, they both have a long road ahead of them. The kneading process of the two working at becoming one. The marriage begins to rise and looks like a beautiful loaf when something causes it to deflate. Was it an argument? Strife? Maybe it was just a simple misunderstanding. According to masterclass.com, kneading is the practice of working ingredients together to form a dough to evenly mix ingredients and develop the structure of the interior, or crumb. During this process, 2 key proteins within the flour combine to form strands of gluten. Kneading warms up those strands, which allows the proteins to expand during fermentation and encourages the molecules to bond, making for a more elastic dough with better structure. The more a marriage is needed, the more elastic it becomes, creating a structure that bonds the two of them together for a long road ahead. So, if you're a newlywed and are experiencing a few deflations, just hang on, because the kneading process becomes less and less as time goes on because that structure gets stronger. Now, that is not to say there are times when the dough will not rise. It was most likely built on dysfunction, which at that point, counseling is needed on how to start all over again to make it rise more beautifully. If both agree to work together, then it will happen. Again, this is Rabbi Roger coming to you from Israel. Thank you so much for listening. Lehitraot, goodbye, or see you again.